Can you do the pasta?
Okay.
I tried to do live with TikTok for like 2 minutes, then they canceled the live. They said maybe they don't like driving. They said dangerous or
Of
something.
course, they don't.
Yeah, so I don't
Yeah.
know. But I thought I saw some other people do driving. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, later.
Yeah.
Just taking a
I'm in
break,
Rid-
lunch break. This is what I'm doing live. Yeah.
Okay, I'm in Rivington.
Oh, I can pick you up if you want. I'm not
Okay,
too
pick
far.
me up, yeah. Okay,
Oh.
pick me up. And then
Okay.
we can pick up Aya together.
Okay, see you soon.
Okay, see you soon.
Bye.
Mary Jane, or 4 others.
Yeah. What? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. See you later. Yeah, if I'm in the area, yeah. Okay. Like, share, subscribe.
That guy's funny. I don't care about the bad. Hey, 9 years back. You know what's the hard part about being in the military? Lack of privacy and living in places I didn't want to live. You know, I'm trying to think about how big that room was. The room was the size of a minivan, and I lived in that thing with 3 other guys. 3 other guys.
Like, share,
Yeah.
subscribe.
People yelling and screaming at you during boot camp. Too hot, too cold. Then again, I loved every minute of it. I really did. Well, not every minute, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, Joe, what is it?
Yeah, I'm here, Greg.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, no, I was calling about the speaker vote.
Uh-huh.
So wrong with these Republicans.
What's wrong?
Everyone, what I'm watching now, every Democrat supported Jeffries. When we lost so far 3 to the Republicans. How will you need these Republicans by Monday to certify the election?
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, it's okay. I'm not as irate when there's a little bit of discord as you will. You know, party discipline, you have to have some of it, but you know the best party discipline? Democrats, communists,
Yep.
It's not something that I think is the best thing in the world. I want a little bit of diversity of opinion, of thought, and you know, I don't want to face the cancel police when I say, you know what, President Trump might be wrong on that one. You know what I mean? So
Here's my thing here.
What?
Oh, here's my thing, okay? The simple fact is, we need these guys by Monday.
I understand, it's Friday. They work there, we don't. I think they're going to get it worked out. I think it's going to get worked out. It's almost like we have too much access. We have too much, like, oh gosh, like the vote, this vote, that vote. I mean, I got to just kind of delegate certain things. I can't take this on. I think we're going to be all right. Now, granted, if we don't have a speaker on Monday, yeah, we could be screwed. But Joe, I think we're going to have one. And especially got President Trump personally lobbying for Mike Johnson. It's gonna work out, all right? All right? Remember that, okay?
Yep, I hope so, Greg.
All right,
By the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. There's the music. We'll be right back. They're going to vote again right now. They're huddling, they're trading, they're making deals. But most of them are just loafing. Most of them are not really doing much work at all. They're just socializing. Network.
77 WABC's Staten Island law firm of Julie and Gentili chime time is 1:59.
And Julie and Gentili, helping people just like you for over 39 years. Walk with confidence. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk
Delivery.
radio. WABC New York, 1071 WLIR. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
77 WABC News. First at 59 past the hour, 38 degrees, a mix of sun and clouds on this Friday, January 3rd. Good afternoon, I'm James Flippin. In just about an hour, a federal judge will hear New Jersey's last-ditch effort to try and stop congestion pricing, which is on schedule to start Sunday. Drivers say either way, they're basically getting ready to pay some form of congestion pricing. Right now, it'll be an average of $9 to enter below Manhattan's 60th Street as of Sunday. And the MTA has been battling several legal challenges over this controversial plan. One federal judge in Manhattan cleared the way for the new toll last month, but the Garden State and its attorneys arguing that congestion pricing will create more traffic in North Jersey communities. New York Governor Kathy Hochul highlighting new laws that just went into effect. She says it puts money back in the pocket of New Yorkers. Then she visited Lower Manhattan today to talk about the importance of the minimum wage increase going up 50 cents. It will eventually be tied to the rate of inflation in 2027.
Middle-class families who are working hard their whole lives are just feeling this squeeze, and it's no fault of their own. They didn't ask for inflation to drive up everything. They didn't see this coming.
A ban on insulin co-pays for state-regulated insurance plans is also now in effect, and the nation's first paid prenatal leave law. It can now benefit employees, giving them an additional 20 hours of paid sick leave for prenatal care, in addition to the existing sick leave that's in place. More and more people are leaving the tri-state area.
New Jersey had the highest outbound migration in 2024, with New York ranking third. According to a new study released on Wednesday, the 48th annual United Van Lines National Movers Study shows the main reasons were retirement and the desire to be closer to family.
Sally
More than
Scapio, my
40%
dear
of
love,
movers
Sally
from the state were
Scapio.
aged 65 and
Dr.
older,
Raina
with 20%
Bell,
of those leaving
representative.
heading to Florida. I'm Lisa Ritchie for 77 WABC News.
Some of the family members of the victims of the deadly truck attack in New Orleans this week, New Year's Day, speaking out now. The mother of former Princeton University football player, Martin.
A shining star, a bright boy, a clever boy.
Another victim,
$1
25-year-old
pizza.
Billy DeMeo, was an account executive in the city who
$1 pizza.
He also killed 25-year-old Matthew Tenedorio, who was from Mineola on Long Island. And the FBI says the man who drove that truck into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street in New Orleans was inspired by ISIS, acted alone. Homeland Security Chief Alejandro Mayorkas says the suspect subscribed to the ISIS ideology and that the deceased suspect wants Americans to live in fear. The suspect has been identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S.-born citizen, also an Army veteran. President Biden is blocking the proposed purchase of U.S. steel.
Japan's Nippon Steel was set to take over the American company in a $15 billion deal. In a statement on Friday, Biden said U.S. steel companies have faced unfair trading practices globally and that we need American companies representing the majority of the steelmaking capacity to put our interests in the forefront. The president said it's important that the U.S. has a strong, domestically owned and operated steel industry. I'm Michael Kastner.
The U.S. Surgeon General warning about a link between alcohol and cancer.
cancer, Dr. Vivek Murthy issued a Surgeon General's advisory on alcohol and cancer risk, saying the more alcohol consumed, the greater the risk of cancer. The advisory highlights alcohol as a leading preventable cause of cancer in the U.S. A woman from Southern California was shocked to find out she was dead.
That's what the Social Security Administration thought, but it was a rare error that Barbara Smith of Costa Mesa has been trying to correct since the agency stopped sending her monthly benefit checks in September, when she supposedly died in Boise, Idaho. The mistake led to the 81-year-old's bank account being frozen. Ultimately, she spent hours on the phone with a Social Security representative who eventually asked her to take a photo of herself holding her driver's license with a piece of paper stating she was alive. The agency says 1/3 of 1% of reported deaths each year get recorded incorrectly. That works out to about 10,000 people a year, possibly going through what Barbara Smith just did. I'm Phil Hewlett.
And well, New Yorkers, New York City residents, you can drop off your Christmas trees at your local parks to recycle them, all part of Mulch Fest 2025 that runs through January 12th. WABC News Time, 2:04, sports, weather, and Wall Street, next.
WABC. On weekends, music is our message. On Music Radio 77 WABC. The best music. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., Vinny Modugno kicks off Music Radio, leading you up to Cousin Brucey at 6 with the Saturday Night Rock and Roll Party. Then at 10 p.m., it's Saturday Nights with Tony Orlando. Hey, it's weekend where the music is. Saturday, Sunday, WABC. You talk. We listen. 77 WABC. 77 WABC News. Continuing the tradition of delivering the best radio news.
Yeah.
77 WABC,
I go lunch. I'll be back.
77 WABC to support Shriners, SID, and the WABC Radio Foundation teaming up to do a live Sit-In Friends in the Morning, January 28th. Be part of the studio audience. Go to WABCRadio.com/live show and donate $225 to Shriners, and you'll be here for the live studio show. WABCRadio.com/live show to donate now. And tonight, the Knicks look to extend their winning streak to 10 games, playing the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road. And on Wall Street, stocks are in positive territory this afternoon. The Dow up 250 points. From the Weather Center, today mostly cloudy, a high near 39. Overnight, mostly cloudy, a low near 26. 39 degrees in Midtown. Greg Kelly continues. I'm James Flippin. The news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
Go get grilled chicken.
The Greg Kelly Show.
Well, we're in a bit of a fix. Mike Johnson loses first round of voting in pivotal House speakership vote. Next round to begin very, very soon. I don't like this one bit, but I'm also not going to overreact, all right? Everything's going to be fun.
I'm going to go get grilled chicken salad. What's my plan? lottery ticket. I had one, but I lost it. I don't know where I put it.
Finding gifts, sending cards, hosting family? Well, now it's time to treat yourself at Macy's After Christmas Sale. Come and find great deals on something just for you. Like 25% off New Year's party looks from DKNY, Adriana Papel, and more. So enjoy the week and get yourself the gift you really wanted before these limited time deals are over. At Macy's After Christmas Sale. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/George.
Congratulations to John and Margot Katzimatidis. 77 WABC is now #1 in New York City. And it's also #1 with the most powerful person in the world.
John, great job you've done at ABC. I'm really proud of you, and you've been so nice to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't actually acknowledge you at all. But you have been. That's really it's a terrific job you've done.
Be like President Donald Trump. Listen to 77 WABC.
Healthier starts here with Get Covered New Jersey. Open enrollment is happening now. If you need health insurance, get quality, affordable coverage with plan options that fit your life and your budget. 9 in 10 get financial help, and many pay $10 a month or less. All plans provide free preventive care, coverage for prescriptions, emergency services, and more. Enroll by January 31st at getcovered.nj.gov.
Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Anthony Weiner, The Middle, Unplugged.
The second thing to understand about New York is the place that immigration plays in our civic life and in our political life and in our history in New York City. But the waves of immigration have defined New York City's cultural and political life in all kinds of ways. For example, when we went through a period in the 1970s where famously during the 1977 World Series, they had a shot from the blimp looking at the Bronx, and there were literally smoke and flames in a couple of spots in Howard Cosell. Ladies and gentlemen, he says, the Bronx is burning. Well, that stopped being a thing, and the Bronx boomed, and the Bronx became developed and much safer and much more populated because of the wave of Dominican immigrants that came in the early 1980s. And Rudy Giuliani, who was the mayor, all the time talked about how important immigration was to the return of the city.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. This is 77 WABC News.
New Year is sparking new fears about another potential dry spell, bringing in more wildfires to the tri-state area. New Jersey Forest Fire Warden Jeremy Weber says that 2024 saw fires burning deeper into the ground.
What you typically would see out in the western United States during a wildfire is conditions dry enough that it continues to burn into the ground and burn the entire stump out. This past fall, we had the conditions that were persistent enough with the drought.
If the trees do not burn at the roots, they will likely survive.
After a while, 15 years or so, it's hard to notice it.
Weber says that fire crews are performing drills in preparation, but he says homeowners can also help prevent forest fires by cleaning yards and gutters.
I create a buffered area that is clean of flammable vegetation.
The Garden State saw over 1,400 forest fires in 2024. I'm Liz Radavali for 77 WABC News.
The Greg Kelly Show.
So we're back, and House Speaker vote set to move to second ballot. Just get it over with. I don't care about this legislative stuff all that much. Ooh. There's that congressman with the bow tie who quit in a huff 2 years ago. His name is Patrick McHenry. Yeah, he was. I don't care. Just get it straightened out. I don't know Mike Johnson. I've interviewed him once. I don't know these guys. I don't work with them. There's some guys I like, some guys I don't, but I know this is very, very superficial. You only really get to know somebody if you're working with them day in and day out, and you really look at what they're doing. Not terribly impressed with our January 6th stuff. I've said that many times. That's an issue. Speaking of January 6th, you know it's great. All the pardons that are about to come down, and some guys really deserve them. And one guy I'm going to talk about right now, he's a Proud Boy, and you've been lied to about the Proud Boys. They're not white supremacists. They're just a bunch of good old dudes who like drinking and promoting America. They're the opposite of racist. Enrique Tarrio was sentenced to like 17 years in jail. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't break anything. He wasn't even there on January 6th. Wasn't even there. Talk about making a federal case out of something. 17 years. It looks like he's going to be pardoned. And that's a magnificent thing for the family. And it's very interesting hearing from some of these January 6ers. I wish I could have done more for them. But one thing I did not do, I did not forget about them. And when everybody, to this day, oh, the Proud Boys, they're a white supremacist. No, they are not. It's one of the many fake news lies that you've been told. And too easy. I saw on January 6th all that stuff. That was terrible what they did to the police. What did you actually see? And when did you see it? It's another kind of interesting angle. I love the cops. I support the cops. However, there's a limit. And when a police officer tells me that I can't exercise my constitutional rights, you know that happened on January 6th. That big skirmish there at the bike rack, those police officers were in the wrong. They said to these guys, you can't exercise your First Amendment right to congregate and have your voices heard. The House of Representatives, the Capitol is not the Pentagon. It's the House of People's House. It's a public building. You're allowed to go in there. Acting like it's Buckingham Palace and these savages couldn't go close to it. You ever see that thing on my Instagram of the cops over and I couldn't make fun of Joe Biden when he drove by my office? Told me I couldn't make fun of him. I had a big sign that said, hey, Joe Biden, you suck. I know it wasn't exactly the most clever thing in the world, but it's something I felt like saying. Actually, I didn't say that. I said, hey, Joe Biden, you lose. Or you lost. It was right after he lost that debate. And the cops chased me up the corner. The cops said, you can't be here with your sign. Like, why in the hell not? I about flipped out. I couldn't believe it. I sat down in protest. I was this close to getting arrested, so I got the hell out of there. Yep, I have no limit. It wasn't really that I was afraid of getting arrested. I was afraid of what my boss would say. I was afraid of what my wife would say. I was afraid of having a real hassle on my hands. So I kind of empathize with these January 6ers. Hey, Brandon Strock is another one. You want him totally pardoned? Not that he's in jail, but he had his life upended by this crap. So many. And one of the key reasons I supported President Trump, I continue to support him.
Their existential threat is not quite your existential threat, but is there any form of ethics here about stopping this work like there was back in the 70s when genetic engineering started, to stop it and say, hey, let's think about what we're doing here?
I think that's exactly what this article's about. You know, you've got a significant coalition of scientists from many countries, some of whom had been doing work towards building mirror life, and we're all coming together and we're saying, don't do it, and let's talk about it.
How would you get together and talk about it?
There's a couple different things, right? So one thing we've done is created a resource where people can ask for money to get together and have a conversation about it. So you track down a website called Native Biology Dialogues, and you want to have a meeting to talk about this, seriously, you can get some support. So there's going to be a whole bunch of conversations throughout this year, including Institute Pasteur to talk about it. since you mentioned in passing the conversations in the 1970s, it's worth acknowledging that, big conversation happened in February 1975 at Asilomar, California. So the 50th anniversary of that event is coming up next month.
There was Paul Berg, I think, if I recall.
Yeah, my late colleague Paul Berg and others, Betsy Singer in Baltimore, they organized that meeting in February 1975. We are having an event at Asilomar at the end of February to talk about the rise in biotechnology today and how to best mine them. One of the 5 topics we'll discuss is building cells and near cells, the possibility of near cells specifically. So that's another example of a conversation coming up soon.
Right, that's interesting to know because I remember that conference. Let me just backtrack a bit and understand exactly what you're saying. Are you saying do not ever do it at all, or can you see a place in which it can be done safely?
Right now we're saying don't do it. And, let's stop working towards this goal and not proceed further. If people want to put forward a good case for why we're wrong, we'd love to hear that. But right now, our position is let's not do this. I want to give a lot of credit to the colleagues working together to do this. Again, some of the signatories on the authors are folks who had, until before we had this conversation, this is what they're doing. And they decided that, very courageously, like, actually, thought about this, and it's a bad idea, and we shouldn't do it. Again, somebody's not going to do this tomorrow. It would take at least 1,000 days of 1,000 people working on it. That's as massive as you could do it, I think. Right? And so it's a type of decision-making process. It's more like deciding where you want to sail when you're leaving the harbor, but before you leave the harbor, or as you're leaving the harbor, as opposed to, hey, I better steer the ship when we're about to crash on the reef. Right. What was it? It was in 2023 when you had a whole bunch of folks in artificial intelligence, frantically signing letters about the dangers of AI. But meanwhile, you've got huge organizations fired up, running as fast as they can to make artificial general intelligence. That's what it looks like when you're trying to steer the ship and you're very close to crashing on the shore. Right. Whereas like here, I think. We're actually, some people would say you're too early, this isn't imminent, but that's when you want to make the decision, but it is too early.
This all sounds somewhat threatening for just a few days into the new year. But let's talk about some positive things. What are you excited about in your field of synthetic biology? What should we be looking forward to?
Well, I put my engineer hat on. The way I think about it is the physics of flourishing are really terrific. Biology as a domain, living system, they and we operate at this intersection of energy and materials. You think about photosynthesis, all the plants on Earth, they're harvesting about 100 terawatts of energy. Our civilization is running on about 20 terawatts of energy. Just 100 is 5 times more than 20. So when I say the physics of flourishing are outstanding or really good, what that suggests, just the back of the envelope math is if we could partner with biology correctly, we could get to a near future where within a generation, humanity is able to equip ourselves with the capacities to make the stuff that we need without being in conflict with the rest of life on Earth. Right? So it's fairly easy for me to imagine things working out pretty well on this planet, and for that to be true within our children's generation, if we just went all out and made it real. So then to come back to your question, Ira, what's going on with synthetic biology? If you've never heard about synthetic biology before, it starts with the word synthesis, and I'm in love with the word synthesis. If you go back into the history of that word, it means composition or putting together. Think of a musical synthesizer, composing a piece of music or performing a dance. And so when you put the word synthesis in front of biology, we're learning how to compose biology. This field, in its modern form, is about 20 years old now. And just looking at the arc of basic progress in the field, we're starting to get better and better and better at composing biology. People are building very complicated pathways inside cells to make medicines in new ways. This last year, in 2024, I don't know about you, but I had 2 bioengineered creatures in my house. One was a bioluminescent petunia that emits light. I gave it to our boys as their night light. And then these so-called blueberry tomatoes with some snapdragon genes in them that make antioxidants like in blueberries. I don't grow a lot of tomatoes, but these were the first tomatoes I grew, and they're pretty good. But it's interesting, right? Like, this is the first time in my life I'm a consumer of a computer. We have consumer electronics, now we have consumer biologics. And so that was shocking in a good way to me last year. I've got a colleague, Mike Fishbach at Stanford, who's done incredible work with his team on reprogramming the bacteria that live on our skin. There's a microbe called Staph epidermidis. It can have that organism present an antigen and tickle your immune system so it develops an immune response. This has been done in mice, not people. One of the early demonstrations was to develop an immune response against melanoma. So imagine having a skin cream that vaccinates you against skin cancer. There are a lot of reasons in my world to be excited about what biology could offer. And when you zoom all the way out to the planetary scale, you know, it feels like we can develop biotechnology in safe and responsible ways and basically give it to folks so that they can solve local problems. If I link it back to the topic of building cells, the thing that's still true about bioengineering today, it's like before we had the light bulb, and you know, Edison and folks were working on how do you get a light bulb to work, and they had how many light bulbs did they have to prototype, they have to test, and it was like tinker and test. Bioengineering is like that still, because biology is still very mysterious at its core. There's no cell on Earth that we totally understand yet. And so what that means is we take our best and brightest ideas, and once we implement them in a DNA molecule, we have to test that molecule to see if it's actually going to work. And we don't know ahead of time. It's not like building a building or even building a bridge or airplane where our models are good enough we can test it on the computer before we build it. You really have to test biology in reality so that your designs work. The most exciting thing to me, I think we're on the precipice of understanding how to build cells, natural cells, not mere cells. And that will become a foundational platform, a big breakthrough that makes routine the building of biological systems at the cellular scale. I think of it like there were computers before operating systems, and then computers after operating systems, and I see that bioengineering is about to get its first operating system at the cellular scale. So that's what I'm most excited about, if you want me to know that. And that's right.
We'll have you come back and talk about this, because this is fascinating. Dr. Indy, Happy New Year, and thank you for enlightening us about this fascinating world.
Happy 2025, Ira. Looking forward to making the world pretty good.
We should. Dr. Drew Indy, Associate Professor of Bioengineering, Stanford University. We have to take a break, and when we come back, it's been 125 years of Audubon, Krista Bergtown, and we'll catch up on what's happening this year. Stay with us. This is Science Friday, from the NYC studio.
Science Friday is supported by MathWorks, creator of MATLAB and simulating software for technical computing and model-based design. MathWorks, accelerating the pace of discovery in engineering and science. Learn more at mathworks.com. Support for Science Friday also comes from Better Health, committed to making mental well-being a priority and offering support in taking on everything life demands. With therapists available to communicate via video, chat, or phone at betterhelp.com/public. And from the Borough's Welcome Fund, dedicated to improving human health by powering education and scientific discovery. More at bwfund.org. Science Friday is produced by the Science Friday Initiative, dedicated to increasing the public's access to scientific information. ScienceFriday.com.
Every year, the MIT Technology Review publishes a list of breakthrough technologies that might shape our future. This year, highlights items like built-in remedies for cows to fight global warming. When cows birth and they use a lot, they are letting out methane, which is a very potent greenhouse gas. And there is a highly restricted one of the behind the list on all things considered from NPR News.
I had to go back over there, so I took my box.
I'm Talia Schlanger, sitting in for Sean Powers. The songwriter Katie Crutchfield, also known as Waxahachie, started out making punk rock in small basement DIY venues, and now she's singing folk country in some of the biggest rooms out there. She'll tell you what changed. That's coming up on Tuesday from CBC.
Tonight at 10 on 93.9 FM, WNYC.
WNYC is supported by NYU Skirball, presenting Showboat, A River, a bold reimagining from Target Martin Theater of the classic musical that captures the transformation of America from the 1880s to today. More at nyuskirball.org.
WNYC's 2025 winter schedule changes start in January. Keep up to date on all your favorite shows by checking our program listings at WNYC.org.
It's a Science Friday. I'm Ira Flatow. This winter marks the 125th anniversary of Audubon's Christmas Bird Count, when bird nerds across the Western Hemisphere trek out into the cold to record all the birds they see and hear. Scientists get to use all that data to understand how birds are faring, where they're moving, and what they're up to when it's not breeding season. With 125 years under its belt, the Christmas Bird Count is the longest-running community science program in the world. So, how do scientists use this data, and what have they learned in those 125 years? That's what we're going to talk about with my guest, Dr. Brooke Bateman, Senior Director of Climate and Community Science at the National Audubon Society in Stony Brook, New York, and Dr. Janet Ings, Wildlife Biologist at Environment and Climate Change Canada in Regina, Canada. Welcome, both of you, to Science Friday.
Thanks for having us. It's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Brooke, let's take a trip in the Wayback Machine. I mean, how did the bird count start over a century ago?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story. So back in 1900, a French chapman decided that the traditional Christmas hunt was not the best idea, and he went and encouraged people in a newsletter called Bird Lore to go out and do a Christmas census, or go out and count birds instead, and really was hopeful that folks would take this on board, and a few folks did. So the first year we had 27 individuals from 25 different locations that decided to count birds instead of go hunting around the Christmas time period.
And but how many do you have now?
We have over 80,000 volunteers that participate across the entire Western Hemisphere. So it's grown substantially since 1900.
Okay, Janet, tell me what you did for the bird count this year.
Oh yeah, thanks for asking. We've been going out every year to do the Craven Christmas Bird Count, so that's just a few minutes north of Regina. And we have two areas, two territories to go stake out and go drive and walk around. And yeah, we took some friends, we packed a lot of snacks, and went looking for birds. This group was a few different biologists packed into a truck, and I have to say it was probably pretty intense. It was pretty intense. It was like there are 9 gray partridges 3 o'clock to the east there, and stop the vehicle, pause, everybody take a look. I was the designated scribe, which I don't want to underestimate how important that task is. And so yeah, I had the little notebook and pencil, and I kept track of what everybody saw. So yeah, it was a pretty serious group, but honestly, it could be anybody who's interested, and that's the beautiful part about Christmas Bird Counts. It's the opportunity to like see something new, learn something new, and yeah, hang out with some probably very nerdy bird people.
Now I understand that this can get pretty competitive, right?
You know, I'd have to say there's probably a little bit more trash talking by text messaging now than there probably was in 1900. and I'd say that's good motivation for, I guess, for some of us who
right.
work that way. Yeah.
Right. And so tell me what the coolest bird you saw this year.
Ooh, good question. So we started off strong, and we were looking at a sharp-tailed grouse sitting in a field. I know he noticed the bald eagle actually come zoom in and check it out. The sharp-tailed grouse wasn't going to have anything to do with it, and the bald eagle thought better in that moment. But it was still really neat to see, like 2 beautiful birds and just a wonderful natural interaction out on a really lovely Saturday.
That's cool. And you, Brooke, what was your plan like?
I do the Christmas Bird Count every year with my daughter. I've been doing it with her since she's 3. She's now 10. So we go out, the 2 of us, in our local area, our part of the sector, and cover our area. And it's just a fun way to spend the day and get her to recognize and identify the birds. So I always find it as an enjoyable experience. And as Janet said, it's just an opportunity for anybody to join. It doesn't have to be just seasoned birders. It can be children. It can be newbies. Definitely a lot of opportunities there.
Was there any bird that you were really hoping to see going into your bird count?
I I think the thing about the Christmas bird count is that it's the opportunity of what you see that particular day. I mean, obviously you want to make sure you're getting the regulars that you see everywhere because we really want to get a good idea of the birds that are in that particular circle over time. But I mean, if there's a rare bird in the area, it's always exciting to try to find it. I'm always happy to try to get the owls. I think for me, owls and the weird winter ducks are my two favorite hits.
You can see owls during the day.
I mean, you can, but you also, a lot of folks do an owling component of the Christmas bird count where they actually wake up early to hear the birds calling. So obviously, seeing a bird is a big part of the Christmas bird count, but there's other ways that you can identify birds, including hearing their calls.
Can you give me an owl call?
Oh, yes, I can. Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? That's the barred owl. I thought it was here with us in the room. That was wonderful, Dr. Beaton. Thank you. I'm not one of those people that can actually sound like an owl, but I can do the mnemonics.
That's good. And Jen, I know you're a scientist. Why is this data so important to scientists?
Well, we've seen Christmas bird count data used in so many studies now, and the importance of this long-term data set, like literally the longest in the world, starting from 1900, there's nothing else like it that exists. And so having a long data set over a large geographic area, all of Saskatchewan, all of Canada, United States, that gives us so much data to work with so we can look at species trends over continents, but also regional trends too, what's happening more locally. There's a lot of opportunities and people have really used it to its full extent, I think. Or actually, you know what, I think we're not at the full extent yet. There's more to come.
Is it helpful that this bird count is done in the winter versus another season?
Well, I think it's a good complement to the breeding bird survey, which is a long-standing survey where folks go out and count birds during the breeding summer and spring period. And we don't have another count that documents where birds are in the winter. And so I think it's really important for us to understand the full annual cycle of birds, what's happening in their non-breeding season, as well as their breeding season. So it's really an important data set for us to understand and take a pulse of birds in that wintering time period.
Janet, do you have any example that you can share why the Christmas bird data is so important?
Yeah, I think like Brooks just makes these really great points because up here in Canada we have a lot of birds that decide that cold winters are not their thing, and so birds migrate. Lots of birds migrate south to places that are warmer where food is easier and life is easier. So for us, we wave goodbye to a lot of birds in the fall, wish them good luck, and hope to see them in the spring. But we don't often know where they go, how they're doing, or where they end up. There was a really cool study done about 10 years ago by Scott Wilson, who's also with Environment and Climate Change Canada, who used Christmas bird count. And I don't know if he was surprised by the results. I think the rest of us were surprised by it. Him and his other scientist buddies showed that Western Greens have actually changed where they spend their winters by over 900 kilometers. And so we had Christmas bird count in the surrounding USC, so that is off the west coast of Canada, United States, around the Washington area. Christmas bird count for years. And they noticed that Western Greens just plummeted. They went down by 95% in those recent years. And so then everybody, of course, was very, very concerned and wonder what's going on, what's happening with their population. And then meanwhile, people who are doing Christmas bird counts in Northern California, they're like, does anybody see what's happening with the Western Greens? And they saw a 300% increase. And so that paper showed that this species was moving where they were spending their winters by like stretch of like the span of 3 states essentially. And what we hypothesized that these Western Greens are doing, so they're probably moving to where the food is better. And so with climate change, we're seeing fish stocks change, where they spend time and how many there are, and that's essentially the biggest food source for Western Greens. And so Western Greens in the Salish Sea decided that it was not working out for them. There's not enough food, and so they went and scouted out an area, and they all ended up on the northern coast of California. Without a continental long-term data set like that, we would have no idea to be able to join these two apparently separate but apparently very linked and very connected populations, and we wouldn't know that.
Brooke, you lead Audubon's climate programs. Have you relied on Christmas bird count data before?
Yeah, the Christmas bird count data has been a really important tool for us to understand how birds are already responding to climate change. We actually did a study a couple of years ago led by Sarah Saunders and folks here on our science team, where we showed that winter ducks in the eastern U.S. are actually expanding their range northward because our winters are becoming more mild. And some species are just overwintering
you can save
and
30% on your first order, plus fast free
migration
shipping right to your door.
because the conditions are just so much more mild in their breeding grounds. So they're just sticking around, and so we're seeing these shifts. We're seeing these ducks kind of moving northward and leaving the southern part of their range in winter. We're also seeing that birds are shifting their ranges northward across North America and some climate change. And we see that we're already seeing these climate change showing up every day from where these birds are occurring.
And does the bird count tell us anything about whether we're losing populations or gaining populations?
Yeah, so it is starting to give us some information, and we also did a study a couple of years ago that looked across all bird species that we counted in the Christmas bird count, and we're sort of seeing this change across the board, where climate change is really dictating the climate is showing where birds can occur, but within their ranges, changes in habitat have really led to changes in populations for different species, particularly with our wetland species and our grassland species that have seen dramatic habitat loss. So the information from the Christmas bird count is really showing us how global change is impacting these populations. And we know from a study in 2019 that we've lost 3 billion birds, that nearly 1 in 4 birds that no longer exist today because of changes in habitat and climate. So lots of information there, like the Christmas bird count has showed us that populations are being impacted by the things that are changing in our environment. As somebody who has been doing the same bird count for the last few years, it is a little while that you can see some of those changes. If you're one person doing a bird count in one location, it's almost anecdotal. That's your story of what you've seen, and there can be a rainy day, a windy day, a cold day, but everything that you see over the years and then compiled it with everybody else's data, that's what tells the big story, and that allows us to pick apart the patterns and really be able to understand better and forecast what's going to happen with bird populations.
I know you've been participating in the bird count over years. Has it made you feel more connected to your local birds, or do you just get tired of counting the same birds?
Never get tired of counting the same birds. And it's been really neat. You get to know your own territory with the Christmas bird count. And so we had a couple of folks who are new to Christmas bird count with us this year. And, we sounded like veterans, like we knew what we were doing out there. Like, we were in Scottsdale and we listened for blue birds. Of course, none of those birds manifested as we were saying these things. But you do get to know your roots, and you get to know the habitats, and you have an expectation of what you might find there. It's kind of like being a nice familiar route. I quite like it.
That's great. And Janet, I know, as you've said, your work is focused on shorebirds and water birds. Do you have any concerns for them as we kick off 2025?
So going into 2025, we've got a very, very close eye on shorebirds. As Dr. Bateman mentioned earlier, there's a study that showed that we are several billion birds shorter than we were a few decades ago, and that's really alarming. A recent report by Environmental Climate Change Canada, State of Birds of Canada report, showed that a couple of groups of birds are in particular decline. So grassland birds have really suffered from loss of habitat, and so their declines have been extremely steep the last couple of decades. And shorebirds, unfortunately, have also seen a massive decline in the last few decades and a very extreme decline in the last 10 years. So a lot of the work that we're doing now is really focused on learning more and getting more detail and really digging into what's happening with shorebirds. So that includes birds that might breed in our local wetlands, but also a really strong emphasis. We're closely looking at birds that breed up in the Arctic and the tundra.
The bird count is coming to a close to this season. People listening now are going to say, how do I get involved maybe for next year? What advice do you have?
Yeah, so the great thing about the Christmas bird count is it's open to anybody and it's free. And the way that you kind of connect to a Christmas bird count is to find your local compiler. And so you can go to christmasbirdcount.org and go to the information there to find the circles near you. So all of our CBCs are 15-mile diameter circles where you can see if it overlaps with where you live and then reach out to that compiler in that area. And I know that Birds Canada, that manages the program in Canada, also has a website
website that you can check out your local compiler. So connect with your compiler, and there's tons of ways to join. If you're not able to do a traditional count where you're out walking or driving around, you can also do a feeder watching component where you can watch the birds that come to your bird feeder. So lots of ways to participate, and it's just a really fun way for folks to get involved.
And you shouldn't worry that you don't have experience. You'll get training, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about a tradition like this. There's so many people that partake in the Christmas bird count that folks that are new to it can be paired with a veteran that's been doing it for a really long time, and it's a great way to learn about the birds. So find your local count, get involved with the folks that are doing it, and you can really just learn a lot. Just the first time I went out, I learned a ton from folks that have been doing it for many years.
And is that what it takes for today?
Today, one morning for your local circle. Unless you're going to participate in more than one circle, then it might be multiple days.
How do people do that?
Yeah, I know quite a few people that do multiple circles. So if you're ambitious, you can contact circles anywhere that you see. You can even travel for them. There's some people that will travel to Latin America to do one of their CBC circles. So lots of opportunities.
What does the Christmas bird count mean to people?
I think the Christmas bird count is just a wonderful way for folks to have a really enjoyable day birding, but also connecting to something much larger than themselves. As I said earlier, this is a hemispheric program. We have folks counting from Canada down through Latin America, and that information is just so valuable to scientists, and it's just a great way to be a part of a really fun tradition, but also contributing to science and our understanding of birds and their populations. There's people that have been doing the Christmas bird count for over 50 years. I just actually signed a certificate for a compiler that had been doing the compiling role in a count for 50 years, and it becomes a community, it becomes a tradition. People look forward to it every year, to doing the count, but also afterwards there's often a tradition of getting together, having a meal, sharing what birds you saw that day, and finding a way for new folks to get involved and kind of continue that legacy of people that care about birds and want to count. So I just think it's become this beautiful tradition that people are just passionate about. They're passionate about the birds in their area, and that they see the value in this program. And so people really care a lot about the Christmas bird count. I was going to say that one of the highlights after the Christmas bird count is seeing all the data that's been compiled for your area and comparing it between years. It doesn't take a scientist to see differences between years and to wonder why and to ask those kinds of questions. And so, yeah, seeing your hard-earned fruits of your labor, the data is one of the best parts.
Well, good luck with all this data, and thank you both for joining me.
Thanks, Sarah. Thank you.
Dr. Brooke Bateman is the Senior Director of Climate and Community Science at the National Audubon Society based in Stony Brook, New York. Dr. Janet Ng is a wildlife biologist at Environment and Climate Change Canada in Regina, Canada. DJ Liederman composed our theme music, and of course, if you missed any part of the show or you'd like to do it again, subscribe to our podcast. Have a great weekend and a Happy New Year. I'm Ira Flader.
Science Friday is supported by the Research Corporation for Science Advancement, nurture and teacher scholars and innovative basic research in the physical sciences at American and Canadian colleges and universities since 1912. More at rescorp.org. Support for Science Friday also comes from the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, working to enhance public understanding of science, technology, and economics in the modern world. And from Schmidt Sciences, a philanthropy founded by Eric and Wendy Schmidt. Science Friday is produced by the Science Friday Initiative, dedicated to increasing the public's access to scientific information. Learn more about their work at sciencefriday.com.
We support WNYC Studios.
Correct.
The neighborhood inevitably changes.
Stemestre סוגים, מה שנקרא. כל דבר 12 סוגים.
I'm Kristen Schwab. How one LA community...
בוודאי.
תשכח את הכבש בתנור, שלא יסרב לך.
כבד אבס, כבש.
כבש בתנור. שי, כבד אבס, חוואט אל-כחמה. יחזיקאי, ואמא כשהייתי רוצה להרגיז אותה, הייתי אומר, טוב, האוכל מוכן, בואו לאכול. הייתי אומר, לא, אני לא אוכל, אני הולך לאכול אצל גוסי. עשה לי גוסי! כבד אבק.
אני גם קיבלתי טלפון מאיזה רב מהארץ, רוצים כספים, איזה קטעים.
תגיד לך, יום אחד בא לבית כנסת, צעקתי עליו. אני מתפלל, הוא בא אליי עם המכונה שלו, ומה? אני אומר לו, דוחק אותו קצת, אני באמצע התפילה. שוב פעם, עד שצעקתי עליו, תעוף לי מהעיניים, מטומטם, ומי אתה מדבר אליו? העלוקות האלה, אסור לתת להם.
צריך לעשות להם בלק פשוט. צריך לעשות להם בלק פשוט.
לא, הם באים לתוך הבית כנסת.
נעשה להם בלק.
הנפש, זבל עופות מעופש.
כן, יודע. אני מתרחק מהם, גם כל העלוקות ברחובות, כל פינה מבקשים דולר.
לא, אתה לא... אפילו לא לאלה שנראות עם הילדים אוכלים קנדי וזה.
כן.
גם אני לא מבין.
כן, אתה יודע איזה טיפולים יש להם? יש להם מלונות, כרטיסי אשראי, אייפון, הכל חינם.
תאמין לי, אם יבוא אליי אחד עם למבורגיני ויגיד לי, שמע, נתקעתי זה, גייסו אותי, כתבו לי את הענק, אתה יכול להלוות לי כמה לירות לזה? אני אתן לאחד כזה, אבל לא לכאלה.
כן.
כי זה יכול להיות באמת שנתקעת. אבל אין לך ואתם ככה עושים את זה שלהם קבוע.
לא על זה, זה לא במצב לחלק כספים, אתה יודע, מה שנקרא כל פינה, כל שני וחמישי.
גם הייתי במיליונר והייתי נותן לך.
זהבה, שאתה פה, נותנת לכל פינה, זה אני אומר לה, מה, זה לא טוב, כן, מסכן, זה אמרת לכל פינה יש כאלה, מה אתה אמרת? the fucking first day, my guy. Yeah, bro. Like when I turn around, I look all around to the. Watch the car.
You start the live?
I start the live.
What do you mean you start?
I'm in live now. YouTube live. I have vlogs. YouTube live is on. So go pick up the Bambino now. Or still time.
You still have time.
By the time we get there, I guess.
Yeah.
I found one of these, so when she comes, you know. Cold outside, huh? Friday and cold. Friday and cold case. Ray say hello, MJ. Hello, MJ. Woot woot. Woot woot. I want to do live with TikTok too. I mean, they're very sensitive. They close my live right away. Maybe they have this like rule, no driving, I understand, but I'm not participating, you know what I mean? You had appointment today, you didn't tell me.
I don't want to bother you.
Yeah. And you want to walk to exercise. Yeah. No, you don't bother me if I'm on the way. Oh, shush, I should take the other street. Thank you for the coffee. You work in a deli? Apple and banana. You know, there's a little window over there, like on the way to Rivington.
Oh.
It's just like a passport picture, but there's a long, long line. What's up with that? It's a small machine there, self-service, $8. Passport picture. But what's up with all this long line? I'm saying they want to chat with you. Apple and banana.
Jabbar, but he is an American-born U.S. citizen and an Army veteran.
I had a lunch when I worked for you, like grilled chicken salad.
A pattern where we will see a lot of, potentially a lot of events that happen in the news become kind of stalking horses or imagery for political arguments about policies that the president-elect wants to make.
Apple and banana.
Why did he act? It's pretty unhelpful to have people can react based off of it if you do an anti-immigrant diatribe and a person is not an immigrant. But that's not the chain of reactions and people get their news from what a figure like a president-elect would say.
I have a ticket I forgot in the house. I'm gonna cash it, the ticket.
But that was his initial reaction to this.
The president also alluded to crime rates unlike we've ever seen before. I'm paraphrasing. Again, folks, we're at a 30-year low in violent crimes. So in times of crisis, you don't necessarily want the president to be trafficking in public disinformation for his own political needs, I think is the bottom line there, which is what we expect.
As a reminder, we're going to need to fact check everything, which is what journalists do.
So hours
Apple and banana.
after this New Orleans attack,
Hey, children is it?
by the Trump organization,
Hey, children is it?
police were called to another attack. This is where a Tesla Sniper truck exploded, killing the driver, injuring others close by. What do we know about
Killing the driver.
Yeah, the timing was very interesting, and authorities have said they're looking at both of these, but don't have any sense that they're connected, but still checking on that. What we know, what they received a report that there was an explosion, as you said, outside the Trump International Hotel
Hurricane with you? You took the subway?
Various things, and we don't know exactly what happened. We have heard the identity of this person. I mentioned he's 37 years old from Colorado Springs, also an Army connection. He was identified as an Army Master Sergeant who was on approved leave. So lots of things we don't know, but we do know what happened there, but don't know the motive behind it.
Active duty soldier initial reports that these two attacks could be connected. There's no evidence of that. Seems to be the bottom line of these two attacks. We already talked about Donald Trump's trafficking and disinformation, misinformation immediately after these attacks, Arthur. But his most important cabinet nominees are in the national security realm. Go right to the heart of a crisis like this. Department of Justice, Intelligence, the FBI, the Department of Defense. How could these attacks affect the nominations of those picks as we head into a season of Senate hearings?
20 degrees outside.
We've heard from Republicans whose job it will be to confirm these nominees and put them into the government say that
I is just sensitive to court.
it's all the more important to make these confirmations happen. I don't know that that argument will carry the day later this month when the confirmation process starts in earnest, because we've still got some really controversial picks who need to be vetted and will face hearings. I mean, I think it looks like both of these attacks, even though there was this creepy coincidence that they happened at the same time and are both involved people in the Army, it looks like a couple guys who went crazy. So,
Margaret, on the one hand, you could argue that it makes it all the more important to confirm nominees right away. You can't have vacancies during a crisis. On the other hand, it might also distill your thinking about the importance of quality people heading up the DOJ or the FBI, not necessarily people handpicked because of their desire to do retribution for the boss.
This is when something like these events happen, it crystallizes a good reminder of the fact that the Justice Department, the FBI, and the National Intelligence, these are all things that should transcend and outlast politics, where their primary function is to keep Americans safe, either from threats within or from external threats. But ultimately, I do also think, yes, it may raise a bar of questions. It will probably ease confirmation for at least a couple of these nominees.
Watching that going forward as nominees face Senate hearings in the days and weeks to come. We're rounding up the news with Arthur Delaney, senior reporter at HuffPost, Anita Kumar, senior managing editor at Politico, and Margaret Tollett, Axios senior contributor and director of Syracuse University's Institute for Democracy, Journalism, and Citizenship. And still to come.
Obviously, this is responding to the ethics complaints that they've had from various Supreme Court justices, almost all of them at this point. And I think the justices feel that acutely and want the public to have that confidence in the legitimacy of the Supreme Court.
Well, the U.S. has only ever had 17 chief justices of the Supreme Court. We'll hear what's concerning John Roberts about the current state of the court. Also going to talk about the new House and Speaker. That's the question. It's Friday News Roundup. I'm Todd Willing. This is 1A from WAMU and NPR.
What if I do live? Show myself TikTok, not the street. But you think they close it also?
Remedies for cows to fight global warming.
When cows burp, and they do this a lot, they are burping up methane, which is a very potent greenhouse gas.
I'm Mary Louise Kelly. We speak with one of the editors behind the list on all things considered from NPR News.
Today at 4 on WNYC.
I was convinced that Zimbabweans loved to stand in a queue. We used to get to the bus. We used to get into the bank. I remember starting to one like in a queue in France.
Join us from a live event in Johannesburg. That's on the Moss Radio Hour from PRX. Tomorrow at 2 on WNYC. WNYC's 2025 winter schedule changes start in January. Keep up to date on all your favorite shows by checking our program listings at WNYC.org.
So schedule appointment with
Report
dentist
for NPR
to remove one tooth.
As from the Wallace Foundation,
January
working to
22.
develop and share
Or
practices
maybe
that can
before.
improve learning and enrichment for young
Yeah.
people and the vitality of
One
the arts
tooth is
for
loose,
everyone.
Miriam.
Ideas and information at
That sucks to
wallacefoundation.org.
losing tooth, you know.
From the Skull Foundation,
Age.
dedicated to powering social innovators to
So I
transform
ordered
the world.
nice cover, you know, bottom and top. I tried to
And from the John S. and
stop
James
the
Olin
top because I'm
Foundation.
removing one tooth. They said sorry, they went to production already. They cannot stop they're not fair because I call them the same day or the next day. They told me gonna take 2 weeks to prepare it. So if I call the next day, even the same day I was consulting, talking to them about it. They said it's problematic if you have a loose tooth because if you put that in, if you pull it out, it might pull out the loose tooth, you know what I mean? So I asked them to hold on an order and to get away with that. They said, sorry, you cannot hold. We send it to be made already. They're lying. I told them, I'm not canceling the order. I just want to fix it and we'll do the top one, you know.
But you do everything, the x-ray.
They don't do x-ray. This place, they only put nice top on there. They plug in, you know, top. It's called pop-up. So they have a computer they do like scan, digital scan.
Yeah, it's like an x-ray.
Yeah. But the lady who took that scan, I told her, is problem, she should tell me not to do the top. She said, yeah, it could be a problem, but no big deal. She make it look like it's fine, you know. Let's see. I guess I can put the top even it's one tooth missing. No big deal. I took like 1, 2, 3, almost 3 tooth already. I'm like Aya. Did you see lottery ticket in the house? Like, it's $15 million. Don't take it, Maria. Why meeting is 1 hour now?
Yeah,
It's a group or one-on-one? Huh?
group therapy.
Oh, really? You talking or you observing?
Talking, observing, listening, everything.
The whole
We have
McGill.
assignment that we need to answer.
The whole McGill. Huh?
Yeah.
Can I go use the bathroom there?
No.
Why not? I can sit, you know, I know you. Because you know where I use the bathroom in the deli. The deli nicely to let me use it, but I have to go all the way in the basement. Between many boxes and these. And in the basement is illegal gambling going on. They play domino, they play cards, they fighting, they yelling, they throwing beer on each other. Apple and banana. We have Amazon today. Delivery too. So get it. Why you don't get it? Save me time. Then you can open it with iron.
So early. 30 minutes early.
Time fly, time fly. Go grab him.
30 minutes early.
So what? You got the order, this cable? I have it in storage.
Oh, you have it in storage?
Yeah, I think I have one in the trunk too.
It's on the $5.
They have one like ropeless, you know? Yeah, you should try the ropeless. You feel like you have a rope, but there's no rope. One time I got that rope, I start jumping, and another driver lady come and jump with me. That was so funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, she had also the rope. I told her, what are you doing? She said, oh, you give me inspiration to jump too. I thought that's so funny. You see the supermarket. This is the owner of one guy. His station. This station is the owner of this station too. So he owned the building too.
Oh.
Cats get matiti or something like that. I go there with Aya sometimes. They have good stuff. Did you try this supermarket? Cristidi? What the name? Cristidis. They have fresh stuff, but they're kind of pricey. They're more pricey than Whole Foods. Cristidis. Front of the building, the blue door. Blue door. You know what I want to do? The digital book, that I can listen to digital book.
Yeah.
That's a good idea while driving, you know. I can listen to books. Apple and banana. Bucky in the car. Oof.
I've got to take a break for Carol. Rather than forcing people to take DEI courses, how about having that FBI spokeswoman with the earring in her nose? How about having her take an English 101 class before she makes another statement to the public? It was an absolute embarrassment, just like it's embarrassing, Carol, that you guys take these DEI courses. Folks, I'm coming right back.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Did you know my mom's gonna have a baby? We heard the heartbeat, and my dad says this is gonna be someone really special.
Hello, my name is Miriam Koharski. I'm the director of Pro-Life Across America. We hope you'll consider supporting the work of Pro-Life Across America. Your gift will help offer life-saving alternatives to those in need. Visit our website at prolifeacrossamerica.org or like us on Facebook.
America's enemies have launched a final attack on that dollar. That's why thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold and contacting the experts at Colonial Metals Group for a free gold guide that explains everything you need to know. Go to freegoldguide.com/Kelly or call 800-655-5186 for your free gold guide and find out if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver.
This is Positively Ernie. Now, here's Ernie and Estes.
Well, here I am following stories in the news and what people are talking about with a positive viewpoint. Hey, did you know that more than 30 million people have unclaimed money or assets? Are you one of them? This could be money from an inactive bank account, unused rebate cards, uncashed checks, dividend checks, life insurance policy payouts, and a lot more. Bill Dendy is a personal finance expert. Hey, Bill, how can someone know where all their money is?
A lot of people forget where their money was for one reason or another. Oftentimes these are the unclaimed deposits or refunds. And, you know, you don't even think about it, but it makes good sense to every so often go to the state comptroller's office and input your information based on your name or your business name. You'll get a list of potential unclaimed property that may be yours. And it's not usually a whole lot. It could be $10, $20, unclaimed a rent deposit or utility deposit. Well, like New York State, every single day returns about $1.5 million. Wow. That's a lot of money. They've got $18 billion in lost money to wait to find the right owner. Across the United States, it's almost $50 billion in lost money.
Lambo has 2,230. I have like 31,000. But how can Lambo is Efren? The login name is Efren.
Yeah, but you lose the monetization there.
I don't care, but I can get it back, man. Why? I mean, you know, I can do both. Just like to show doing video with you every day. You know the password for ETF for the Lambo? You know the password for Lambo? You can type it. Give me all of them. Okay, here, type it.
It's small A, it's not big.
The email, that's an email, it's email, it doesn't matter. Yeah. If it's email, it's not the password, it's important. But email, I don't need to right now, but for the future. So we have Lambo and we have Ioblogs. That's it, yeah. There's another one. Okay.
Officials out on Long Island are cracking down on retail theft. Specifically, they are going after repeat offenders or serial shoplifters. New Yorkers have seen their fair share of retail crime. The smash and grab is alarming.
Some woman just went and grabbed a whole bunch of clothes and she ran out the door and they didn't do anything.
Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney points out that these are not just petty thieves, and authorities have to play by the rules.
These shoplifting offenders have stolen tens of thousands of dollars, and many have hit the same store over and over, dozens of times. Police cannot normally arrest for shoplifting. They have to give an appearance ticket.
Suffolk County has teamed up with major chains like Home Depot and Stop and Shop to catch those thieves that return to the same stores. I'm Liz Radavali for 77 WABC News.
No, it's not. It's not. You know, you pinched his arms? Really? No, it's not time to work you. No. Shit out. I already got it. I understand. I mean, just you're tensing your arms? That's madness. We have enough cases. Come on. No. I'm gonna find no problem calls. Just remember, if you're gonna get lit, be very careful. Do you understand, Mr. Thurston? I'm sorry, did you want to say something? Oh, it's okay, Judge. We're dismissing the case. No, it's not. You don't. You pinched his arms? Really? No, it's not time to support you. No. Shit out. I already got it. I understand. What kind? I mean, just you're tensing your arms. That's mad. We have enough cases. Come on. No. I'm gonna find no problem, promise. Just remember, if you're gonna get lit, be very careful.
I need to see your license and registration.
No.
What?
I'm good.
You don't have it on you? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I have my license and my registration on me. I'm just not gonna show it to you.
I need to see your license and registration for this vehicle.
Why don't you just go back to your police car and forget this ever happened?
Sir, step out of the vehicle. Do you have any firearms or weapons that I should be aware of?
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Hey, why don't we find out?
Step out of the vehicle. Step out of the vehicle or I will take you out of the vehicle.
I think you should call for backup before you attempt anything. No, this isn't a YouTube show. This is more like real life, yeah. See, he's about to kill me, see? And so I'm about to die. And so you say, well, how come I'm not worried? It's because I know that none of this is real. Good job. Way to feel it. You feel the rush? Feel that rush? You're in it. You're in the dream. You're in it. It's real. It's solid. The bullets would go right through my head. The bullet would go right through my head. Doesn't it feel good? See, the trick to a situation like this, it's really simple. What you do is you simply... This is going too far. I know.
I need to see your license.
Let's take a look. This book right here is super cool. It's like you're actually walking into an herbal apothecary, and you can just choose what you want right off the shelf. Page 211. And here we go. Nature's amoxicillin. It's going to give you all the ingredients you need, as well as step-by-step instructions.
It was not a great time. Spent a lot of money, didn't make a lot of money, but what are you gonna do? Linda, if you saw the footage on my Patreon, you would understand. It's beyond that. It's a really old building in downtown.
Тебе букетик шикарный, Наденька, замечательный. Я сделала фотки с ногтями. Леон, спасибо большое. Спасибо. Настя, не слушай меня внимательно. Я знаю, что ты уснешь. Я знаю, как ты укладываешь сумку. Надюшка, спасибо большое. Наденька, как там твоя корова? Как там твоя буренка? Аленка? Спасибо. Ладно, thank you very much. From New York. New York, this is great. How are you? Настя, слушай, внимательно. Внимательно, Анастасия. I'm friend of Irish. My English little, but I understand. Okay. Understand. How are you, my friend? We love you and hear of you, friend. Спасибо, thank you very much, Lala. And thank you. Алиса, включи музыку. Все, это капец. Настя стоило один раз сходить в туалет. Таня, Tap to screen, please. Леон, я не понимаю. You from Marina? Oh my gosh. Thank you very much. Understand.
место. Леон, пообщайся с человеком. Люби меня, люби. Надюшка, спасибо большое. Сейчас что-то будет в конце. Зен, си. Бамбл, thank you, man, thank you. Леон, спасибо большое. Спасибо большое. Thank you very much. 17 минут. Это капец, ребята, это капец. Ламба, one moment, please. I need translate. Вот это тоже милый. Ого, не говори, ого. And thank you very much. Спасибо, ребят, большое, спасибочки. Как уйти? Спасибо большое за лайк. Спасибо, ребят. Он ушел сам. Спасибо большое. Юзер, приветик, привет-привет. Спасибо за подписку, ребят. Tap to screen, please. Спасибо за лайки. Блин, ну так меня давно не встречалось. Меня зовут человек, я не хочу. Дальше. Настя, спишь? Спасибо, спасибо, спасибо большое, что делитесь. Спасибо. Ламба, how is your name? And thank you very much. Привет, 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 Михайловна, как дела? Я тебе нравлюсь, я знаю, все про тебя рассказали. Солнце говорит, что рада видеть нас, что она не была в эфире в течение времени. Михайловна, ты была в эфире сегодня? Спасибо большое. Блин, пожалуйста, не уходите, мне минута нужна. Не уходите, мне минута нужна. Олег, привіт, як справи в тебе? Здравствуйте. Давайте сыграем. С Новым годом вас.
Вас тоже.
Спасибо большое. Извините, пожалуйста, на секунду отлучусь. Ребят, я сейчас вернусь, очень надо. Тапаем, тап-тап-тап-тап-тап-тап-тап.
Давайте победим. 18 венчик. Это будет мощный раунд. Но венчики надо забрать. Это сильно. 17 венчиков. Давайте. Сундук есть. Сундук есть. Пошел отсчет. Это, кстати, быстрый сундук. Я еще один сейчас сделаю сразу. Сюзеренитет, второй тоже. Спасибо большое. Поэтому заходим, тапаем, лайкаем. И давайте победим.
Окей, this is great. Олег, з Новим годом, з Новим роком тебе. Бажаю всього найкращого тобі.
Артем, привет. Всех рад видеть. 24. 24 венчика. Надо забрать.
Tap to screen, please, and thank you very much.
Пустая миссия пошла, ребят.
Леон, по-моему, ты нашел с кем пообщаться, да? Потому что я тебе нравлюсь. О, такси, отлично. Аша, привет-привет. Привет, спасибо.
Надо две розочки.
Михайловна, спасибо большое, что зашла.
Две розочки за 30 секунд.
Надюшечка, моя спасибо, куколка, бамбл.
Кстати, блядь.
Ребята, 17 минут, пожалуйста, даже в конец. Help me, please. Земляк, живущий в Америке, я поняла.
По таймингу не вкладываемся вместе. Потом будет еще один. Уже заряжен.
You thank you very much, my friend.
Сейчас еще.
Надюнечка моя умная.
Я не помню просто сколько.
The chubby Russian night.
Не пугай людей.
Это суши.
Громче. Настя, спишь, нет? И громко ору.
Все, 240 тоже. Что это сейчас тут происходит?
Thank you very much, my friend. Не спишь?
Right. Music.
Алиса, тише в 2 раза.
Ладно, спасибо вам за игру.
Вам спасибо за игру. Подписывайтесь, поиграем еще. Хорошего вам эфира. Ребята, вот это кайф, это такой адреналін вообще. Але, як в тебе справи? Кажи мені, будь ласка, швидко, дуже швидко. Як в тебе справи? Не, выполнялись. Шампан. Артур, привет, как дела? Спасибо за лайки. Спасибо, спасибочка. Спасибо. Такие эмоции вообще, unbelievable, it's so crazy, oh my Супер, вы. Мы? Я? Кто я? Настя, не спи, бежи в чате. Почему сама? По 3 человека, по 2. Дальше. Альона, какого города? Луганская область, Амиль. Классная, да, классная. Стучим, ребята, стучим, подписываемся. Тап-ту-скрин, делимся трансляцией. Давайте, активнее. Мы только зашли, у меня такое настроение, если все так будет дальше, что я буду долго здесь. Настя, пиши. Настя не пишет вообще. А какую? Ты жди меня там или скажи, не молчи, Орех? Какой ты хочешь писанку этому включу? С кем живешь? С ребенком? Ты наша красотка Новенькая. Спасибо большое, Надюшечка. Так меня порадовало. Чтоб ты понимала, да? Алиса, включи Сивак, ты жди меня там. Алиса, звук на 100.
You want to kick your New Year off right by getting healthy and sticking with your resolutions? We can help with our annual holiday buy one get one free sale that's going on right now. Buy any Invite Health product at suggested retail and get the second bottle free. Want better focus and attention, more energy, help with losing weight? Contact Invite Health today for a free nutrition consult with one of our experts. In store or by phone, we can help. Call us now, 800-632-0572. That's 800-632-0572. Or go to invitehealth.com to order online. Get free shipping on orders over $35.
Thank you guys so much for the
How can I put commercial on YouTube?
Look at the reviews if you don't believe.
Third is a giant. Hit me again next week. I'm probably still gonna say no because honestly, catch me in the spring because it is cold. I said hello and you just said bump me. Oh, I did not say fuck you. Ooh, my package is here. Absolutely love the shirt. I just linked it in my last video if you want to go buy it. The shirt has been a commodity. I never linked. Thank you. I've never linked my TikTok packages. Or my TikTok
my TikTok searches. But,
Was it deranged and out of pocket? Was you ever single in New York bubbles, like having the baby?
How did you form an LLC so quickly? How did you form an LLC so quickly? You need Zen Business. They let you form an LLC for $0 plus state fees to make it simple to start, grow, and manage your business. This all-in-one platform simplifies everything for you, making that dream business.
4 o'clock.
What a cinematic experience. Just unfolded, and here's the ultimate showstopper, the double-sided TV. One screen, two worlds. Watch your favorite show on one side while someone else catches the news on the other. It's futuristic, undeniably cool. This isn't just the future of entertainment, it's the future of how we live with technology. China is taking...
Hi, Ashley. Hi. Nice to meet you. How are you? Good, how are you? What's your name? Lisa. She's got a good personality, and she's so sweet. I just love to be around her. You're the first person I met when I first come here to this pawn shop.
They're giving away stuff. Yeah. Toys, Maria. They're giving a toy. We got checked courtesy of the system. Courtesy of the system. We got checked. Right on. Brand new, the company gave it. Let's see, you can take one. Okay, that's mine. You don't. That's for me. Okay.
I said. I said to him. I said to him.
Why is my dog is on the floor? I know. Apple and banana. Apple and banana. I have one. I want one too. I want one too. Give me one. Give me one. I want one. She don't like to share.
No, Mama. Okay.
Shush.
Thank you.
What about me? What's your problem? I'll pick you up, I'll take you back. Apple and banana. I like my doggy. That's my doggy. He's gonna be my best friend. I can lean like that. Yeah, they all knew the whole box. They said, courtesy of the company donated. Donation. Their box full of toys. What should I call him? Douglas? Why Douglas?
I said Joshua.
Joshua, okay,
No,
call him.
Joshua.
Dosha, why Dosha? I call him Joshua. Jesus, Joshua is Jesus. Joshua.
He don't like that name.
No? Yeah. See, I got a dog.
I don't
You
care.
see the dog?
I don't care because I still have more stuffies.
Doggy dog.
Dada. I still have more stuffies.
Maybe he has a name, let's see.
Dada.
Oh, Doshua, Douglas.
Dada. Can I
Douglas.
tell you something? I still have more stuffies than you.
I have one.
Well, I have more than one.
How many you have? You
I
have
don't know.
10.
I didn't count them.
At least 10 you have, yeah.
No, I don't have 10.
But what you have, it's my too. We share it because I buy it.
I don't care. They're all mine.
Yeah, but it's my too. Half of it my too.
No, all of it is mine. And this is just your doggy.
He drink my coffee. Don't drink my
Drink
coffee.
it. My stuffy can also drink it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Don't drink all the coffee. I need it. Stop it.
All the coffee is drinked.
Oh, shush. Don't be a shish kebab. Apple and banana. I need to work one more hour. Are you gonna take the stuff from the building, Miriam, or you want me to take?
I'll take it.
Me?
I am saying.
It's a cleaning stuff, you know.
I am saying. Don't go to work.
No, but I cannot park. You see, before 4 o'clock. I mean 5 o'clock.
It's not 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
It is 4 o'clock.
No, you skipped 4 o'clock.
Skip, yeah.
You skipped 4 o'clock in the morning. So you can park.
No way, Hans.
No, but you skipped 4 o'clock in the morning, so you can park. So what's the problem?
Don't worry. Don't worry, be happy.
It's 6 o'clock.
It's 4 o'clock, 4:08. What are you talking
No,
about?
it's 6 o'clock.
6 in your mind, 6 in your head.
Let me check the real time.
A real time? That's a fake time?
Yeah, that's a fake time.
Real time is 6.
Yeah, the one.
And if I get a ticket, you're gonna pay the ticket? It's $115.
I'm just gonna whip it.
Oh, shish kebab. How many pieces you gonna rip it? Many pieces?
So many pieces.
See you later.
Hello, Dada.
Later
Hello,
again.
Dada. Hello.
Can you
hello,
put
Dada.
the puppy upstairs or I bring it? Can you put it upstairs for me?
Yes.
Can you put it in my section, in my...
Bed?
Yeah.
Dada.
Okay. But be nice to him, okay?
Okay. He looks so cute. He looks so cute.
Why you didn't get one then?
Because I didn't want to.
Because he was afraid of you, like you make faces and that.
You're afraid of me.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, see you later. Maybe we have a party for the new arrival tonight.
Only in your bed.
Okay, so...
You already have 2 stuffies in your bed.
Okay, so
this counts for 3.
Okay, we're gonna have a party in
Dada,
this.
you have 3.
Okay.
Dada, you have 3 stuffies.
Okay. See you later.
Okay, I'm bring your backpack.
Take it upstairs. Come on. For me, put it in my bed.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, be nice to him. Because he
Okay.
drink a lot of coffee. He's kind of drunk. Apple and banana. It's dark outside. Apple and banana. Cold case. It's cold case outside. מה ביקשתי? Apple and banana. Head, shoulder, knees and toes. Still navigate.
Let's take West 20th Street, West 21st Street, Manhattan.
We're going to Brooklyn soon. Right, going to Brooklyn.
Turn left on 6th Avenue. Then turn left on West 21st Street. Turn left on West 21st Street.
Apple and banana. apple and banana.
You've arrived at your destination.
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
What's the name?
I'm Ava.
Going to Brooklyn. Yeah.
Even Orlando, Florida will feel a chill, with highs in the mid-50s late next week.
But it does look like things are going to start easing
Connection with God can be achieved without the use of drugs. And may I add, perhaps you will have a more noble and a more perfect connection with God that you better than perhaps what you think is the connection of God when you're high. Perhaps not the only connection with God.
that story. If you want to get your calls in on that one, you're more than welcome to buzz us at 1-800-848-9222. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. You know, I don't really consider myself an evangelist.
Mic off, mic on. Flash off. Mic off, mic on. Delivery. Delivery. On to the next one. On to the next one. Delivery. Oh, I'm okay. On to the next one. On to the next one. Ma bikasht. Ma bikasht. There is somebody running. No running in the village. No running. Ayana.
What Trump said. The word disrespect came out as it was reported by our Aisha Asmi, Capitol Hill correspondent. And, you know, he said you would have disrespected the results of this election, you would have disrespected me and
Oh my goodness.
my agenda. And, you know, he needed that. And I think
Charlie Choo Choo Train. Charlie Choo Choo Train. MJ Train was on the Williamsburg Bridge. MJ Train.
In a sense, Trump's agenda, because this thing could have stalled out, all kinds of mischief would have happened. You know, we had Senator Chuck Grassley on
Koriput. That's a Koriput situation. Don't be in a Koriput situation. Koriput. Koriput is cheap. In Spanish or something. Brazilian. Koriput. Maybe in the Philippines. Koriput. Koriput. Larry Khan. Koriput.
Working in the White House in those days. Really kind of out for me. Wow. I never knew that. So I was when President Reagan was shot. Yes, exactly. Rushed in. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. So Ed Cox was part of that. So Larry, now that the president's got, you know, the relationships and the arrangements in the House and the Senate are all straight, and he can move forward, how does he manage not to see the country go into almost like a second inflation based on the Fed's activities and also just the way the market's going? Well, look at that's an important question. Important point, because what you're seeing is
Renovation. Record renovation.
inflation's gone the wrong way the last 4 or 5 months. And for some crazy reason, the Federal Reserve is inflating the money supply again by cutting interest rates, even though they haven't hit their target. And Biden is spending like crazy, really hundreds of billions of dollars at the lame duck in these last 2 days. And so what they have to do, this is my view, I've been pushing this now for, I don't know, a month. They've got to have one big, beautiful reconciliation bill.
Reconciliation. We need a reconciliation. One big reconciliation. Retribution.
2 or 3 reconciliation bills, which, as you know, require only 51 votes in the Senate. There's no filibuster. And they've got to start right away and get it done before the middle of the year. You'll be producing more goods and services. You'll get better productivity. It's really what raising goods. Raising tax cuts on the supply side helps conquer inflation because it produces more goods. You had a tremendous economic boost. And what Trump has got to strive for this year, 2025, is what I call the blue-collar boom. It's got to be aimed particularly at the middle class, working class coalition. So really, the best way to slay inflation, produce more goods, lower tax rates for businesses, for individuals, deregulate, get those others to point out spending cuts, stop the regulatory overkill. These are all things that have to be done right away. They can't wait. In other words, the idea of doing one bill and then doing a second bill and a third bill is nonsense. You're never going to get it through the House.
Larry and Coxer, one reason they can't wait is that the bond vigilante is back. In the last couple of weeks, the long-term rates have gone up.
Yep.
Do you think that whatever action is taken is going to, in fact, take care of that issue? You're talking about mortgage.
AMC Theater, 11th Street and 3rd Avenue.
Yes, well, you know, the Fed has made so many mistakes, and these are more of the mistakes. So they cut the short rate, the term rate, by 100 basis points, and the long rate, the 10-year bond rate, went up 100 basis points. And you're right about it, carried mortgage rates
Tomato
back.
coming up soon to the theater near you.
Overnight. None of these things are overnight. But
19th Street.
the House just needs to stay on course. Again, go to the supply side. Tax cuts and deregulation. That's what it is. And the sooner they get it done, the better. I mean,
Apple and banana. Hey,
I
children.
think that this has been a crusade of mine for the last month. First I heard about 2 bills, 3 bills, and I said, no. Back in 2017, I wasn't in the White House then, but they spent the first half of the year more, figuring out with health care. They never got it done. They didn't get to the tax cuts.
19th Street.
And the margin in the House is much smaller today than it was way back then. So the Senate's not the problem, it's the House. And it'd be hard not to get one bill through, but they're going to have to go that route. That's what I'm
Elena. Eleni restaurant. Ramsey.
Larry, so great to talk to you, and thank you so much for joining us on Captain Gospel. There goes Larry. So we are going to get a check of traffic here. We're going to also have a chance to catch up with former House Speaker Newt Gingrich when we come back, and still to come, Congressman Peter King
Union
as well
Square.
as Miranda Devine. And that is just some of the stuff to come on Captain Cosby as it's James Corbin.
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes. Maybe 5 minutes. One fancy tomato, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah, good weekend, everybody. Gonna go to my baby. My baby.
And the criminals that would do them harm. They are your neighbors, protecting your neighborhood. Support law enforcement and stand with the Suffolk County
Lotion in the ocean. There's lotion in the ocean.
Lincoln looks pretty good, and the Holland is about 15 to 20 minutes in both directions. The Manhattan-bound Midtown Tunnel seeing a backup. A stalled bus is on the Manhattan side in the right lane. And on the eastbound Columbus, the Hamilton Avenue is stalled.
Starbucks.
That's 77
Chase Manhattan Bennett. AMC Theater. Theater near you. Okay, what we can do? I mean, what do you mean free bridge is still free? Just enter in Manhattan, it's congestion price. The bridge is still free, the bridge. Enter in Manhattan is cost money. This is all bullshit. This congestion. It's all bullshit. Mafia. That's what happened with the mafia. Yeah, I'm gonna get off here. Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend. I gotta go. See you next time. Thank you for sticking around. See you next time. Have a good weekend. Happy New Year. Take care. Home sweet home. Babushke.